Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. So today we're going to be doing an interesting reading, one that I've never done before. This is it too late? Basically, so you can ask about any situation and we will be looking at whether or not it is too late to achieve that goal or to have whatever it is that you're asking about. You might be asking about a relationship, you might be asking about a particular goal in your personal life, you might be asking about your career. Whatever it is that you want to ask about, there will hopefully be a message for you here today. With that being said, I do want to give a caveat to this reading. Like many of my readings, the rule is always do not ask the question if you are not ready to hear the answer, because there is no point in getting a reading if you are not ready to hear the truthful answer to the question, whatever that question may be. So if you feel like, actually, if I was to watch this reading and it gave me the answer that I didn't want, then I would be very upset, or I would be very distressed or panicked or desperate maybe. Please don't watch this reading. Please click off this video now and go and do something that's fun, lighthearted. Watch something that's happy or joyful, or, you know, whatever you feel like doing, because I do not want anyone to watch one of my readings and then feel panicked or upset or distressed afterwards because they have received an answer that they weren't hoping to hear and that they weren't ready to hear as well. It might be that in a few weeks' time or even longer you're ready to hear the answer, but sometimes we're just not ready to hear any outcome to the situation. We only want to hear something that's affirmative or something that's validating, and my readings will never lie to you. I will never make anything up or downplay something that's in the reading to make you feel better about the situation or to give you false hope. That is very, very strongly part of my code of conduct as a reader. I'm an ethical reader. I take my ethics very seriously. So if you're still with me, welcome. I hope you enjoy the reading. And I want to say a big thank you to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including Alexandra, Kelly, Joan, Cara, Mia, Nicole, Alison, and Lena. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for your kindness. As you can see, we've got 3 piles today, as we usually do, and I've put the Midnight Oracle cards on each of the piles. So let's get a closer look at those now. So on pile 1 we have Time and the Faery Tarot. Just think about your situation and ask yourself, is it too late? Is this not going to happen? Do I still have a chance to make this happen or to experience this? However you want to phrase it, whatever feels right to you for your situation. For group 2 we have Snake and the Angel Tarot. This is the first ever tarot deck that I ever had. Very special tarot deck to me. And over on group 3 we have Sun and Tarot Dobra, which is the good tarot, but it's the Czech version that I bought while I was in Prague. So take as much time as you need to choose your pile. You might also want to ask about more than one situation and therefore choose more than one pile, and if you are doing that you might choose both at once. So you might choose one, watch it, and then come back and choose another one if you struggle to pick more than one thing at once. Take as much time as you need, and when you're ready I will get started with pile number 1. Hey there group 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose Time and the Faery Tarot, then this is going to be your reading. Obviously time is quite an important theme in this reading in general, because we're asking about whether or not it's too late to do something, but it seems like for you, out of all of the piles, time is the most sort of on your mind. So maybe you're approaching a deadline or something and you're thinking, am I ever going to get this done? You know, is it too late for me to be able to pull this off? Or maybe you're approaching a particular age in life and you're thinking, is it too late for me to do this? You know, so that's what we're going to look at today. Please do subscribe as well if you haven't already, group 1. That really helps out my channel, and it also means that you never miss an upload. So let's check your tarot first, see what they have to say. Obviously we've got oracle cards and dice as well, like we always do. And charms, of course. Okay, well that was really quick with your tarot cards. Let's see what they have to say. So you've got Unity as your first tarot card, which is the Hierophant. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. Eight of Summer, which is the Eight of Cups, the desire for a more meaningful life, realizing that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes. Also get this one. Six of Winter, Six of Swords, positive changes are on their way, a welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. Prince of Winter, or Knight of Swords, intellectual, determined, focused, impulsive, seek out an intellectual solution to your problem. The need to act quickly and decisively, sudden or unexpected changes. And then finally the Four of Summer, Four of Cups, being distracted and failing to see a magical opportunity, taking someone or something for granted, discontentment with life. So we've got Taurus, Gemini, Libra and Aquarius showing up so far in your reading. And I definitely think that for a lot of you this is to do with deadlines, or it's to do with reaching a certain time in your life. Like I mentioned with the time card, more generally, it feels like you are just unfulfilled. I get this feeling of boredom from these cards. I get this feeling of just tiredness, of not having the energy to address something, and it's like it's been creeping up on you for a very long time, and you've suddenly reached a panic point where you're thinking, am I ever going to be able to do this? Like, I feel like I've wasted so much time, but I just didn't have it within me during that time to get what I needed to do done. So this could be to do with career, for example, like you wanted to be earning a certain amount by this age and you just feel like you've coasted because you've just been so tired, or you've been so lacking in motivation, and now you're approaching that age and you're just not where you wanted to be. Okay, it could be something like having children or getting married as well. It could also be to do with things like university and higher learning, because the Hierophant is to do with these institutions. So it can point towards higher learning, training, as well as kind of traditional things like having children, getting married, those sort of rites of passage, so to speak. I also feel like I never like to give a clear answer just from the tarot cards, because they're sort of the portal into the reading for me. They're the gateway. They set the tone for what's going to happen, but we get a lot more meaningful and specific messages from the oracle cards and the charms and so on. But I kind of get the feeling from this that you have been, whether you want to call it coasting or distracted or down or low or burnt out or demotivated, whatever it is, uninspired, for quite some time. And it's like you do still have chance to turn this around, but you're going to have to act quickly. But I see the opportunity for this sudden change to come in. I feel like you're already starting to come out of that feeling of being dispirited or burnt out or tired, whatever adjective you're using, or you're soon going to be coming out of it, because I see with the Eight of Cups, which is about leaving something behind, a desire for more fulfillment, which you just haven't been finding. I often call this the burnout card, for example. And then the Six of Swords and the Knight of Swords, it's like this sudden change, this sudden pulling everything together and getting into the right gear kind of feeling. So let's start getting some oracle cards for you. Group 1, very interesting reading so far. I didn't know what to expect from what kind of situations people were talking about, but this one feels quite clear cut to me, although obviously people are asking about different things. The sort of overall circumstances feel quite similar. So then we've got heute in einem Jahr. Okay, today in a year. So basically like a year from now is what that card means. Where do you want to be a year from now? And I kind of get the feeling that it's saying a year from now your life is going to look very different. Group 1, and kind of what you do now will determine what that's going to be like. So if it's to do with studying, for example, maybe you're reaching the end of the road with studying and you need to bring it all together and you feel like, oh my goodness, there's so much time I could have spent doing this and I haven't been doing it because I just wasn't motivated for it. But what you do now will vastly influence where you are in a year's time. Equally, if this is about marriage or children, the effort that you can put in now, the changes you can make now to your life will vastly influence where you are a year from today. Then we have Vortreten, number 38, stepping forward. You can see there is like an angel. Can't see his wings very well on this card, but these are the white wings of the angel, and someone has fallen off this staircase and he's picking them up and pulling them back onto it, sort of like getting back on the horse, so to speak. And der Götze harte Arbeit. Yes, number 77. The idol of hard work. Okay, when you feel like everything's just so difficult, you feel overwhelmed by everything that you need to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to be a really hard slog. It means that you're in the mindset of, when you look at it, it all just seems overwhelmingly difficult and overwhelmingly stressful and tiring, and that's why it's hard to get yourself motivated for it. But you need to step forward to do this now. I do sense that you have a lot of help in terms of your spirit guides, your angels, everyone in your spiritual team kind of stepping forward themselves to help you with this. This might be why you're feeling shifts and changes in your energy field, your emotions, your thought process. It might be why you are maybe starting to think on this more, just focus on this topic more. But they will be helping you, helping to sort of lighten the load. Lavender, sleep. So this is important because you might be feeling, if you've been, like I said, coasting or kind of not being very focused, feeling quite distracted, etc., you might be feeling like you don't deserve to have any rest. Like, I've rested for so long, or I've, not been pushing myself for so long that I should now just be flat out. But I don't think that's the case, because I think if you do that, group one, you're just going to make the situation worse, because you're not going to be giving your best. You're going to be giving your tired self, you're going to be giving your frustrated, worn out, struggling to concentrate self. So I think little and often should be your motto in terms of whatever it is that you need to do to accomplish this. Make sure that you're able to switch off from it each day, that you're able to have time where you just go, okay, that's like going back on the shelf now mentally, and I'm focusing on something else now. I'm focusing on me, or my downtime, or maybe physical activity, or just something different. And I'm making sure that I'm getting my rest, or I'm getting nourishment, or I'm being hydrated. It's like this one extreme to the other. Like, you've gone from being burnt out, not being able to do anything, or demotivated, not wanting to do anything, to like feeling like you should punish yourself by being all out. And I just think you need to find a better compromise. The middle path is going to be better for you, like Aristotle's golden mean. Back and forth, the fifth of intention. Yeah, this is another thing, like just feeling as though whatever you do, it doesn't get you anywhere. But I've just seen on the base card of this deck, we've got milestone, the six of events. So it might feel like a load of stuff that needs to be done, a load of toing and froing, a load of tedious work or tedious slog that needs to be done, but it will get you to where you want to be. Spring, autumn. Now you've got it landing in the reverse, so that's autumn. The four of forces. Autumn is obviously the harvest time, where you've put in your effort and you now reap the rewards or the benefits of that effort. And I think that's what you need to focus on. When you start to flag and feel stressed and feel like, I can't do this, I'm tired, it's overwhelming looking at this big document that I've got to, do, or it's overwhelming to talk to so many people, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, you've got to remind yourself of the harvest. Whether you're thinking of the autumn card, whether you're thinking of a year from now, a year from today, you've got to put your focus on the end result, because otherwise, you're not going to be happy. If you can think of, how would I feel if I didn't get this versus how I would feel if I did get it, that needs to be your motivator. The golden key. In this space of confusion and all of these different locks, it's like finding the right method for you to achieve what it is you're hoping for. Finding what fits, what works for you. One person's approach is not going to be the same as another person's approach. Someone's route to success or happiness, or their ability to study, or their methods for doing this is not going to be the same as anyone else's. It's not going to be the same as yours. It shouldn't have to be. I think there's a lot to be said for everyone just sort of following their own path and not feeling pressured to do what other people are doing. Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. So yeah, Master Buddha is kind of encouraging you to take a deep breath and take things slowly. That's bringing me back to the little and often message. I don't think that rushing yourself or feeling like, you know, I need to do a million things at once and I can't rest until I do it, it's just not going to be helpful. You need to approach this calmly and rationally and with plenty of sleep, with plenty of rest, because if you're approaching it from a very stressed state, you're just not going to be doing yourself justice. You're not going to be getting the level of reward for the effort that you put in that you deserve. Salu, vitality, health, energy, number 27. Yeah, you've really got to prioritize your health, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. That needs to be key, like a key factor when you're working out your plan as to what you're going to do here. How am I going to approach this? You need to remember my health needs to be key. Vanilla, status quo, tradition, simplicity. Not trying to reinvent the wheel. Just taking it gently. Tried and tested methods. Also, to remind yourself as well, this is a good one, to remind yourself that you are not the only person who's ever been through this kind of journey. And, you know, plenty of people have done this before you. Plenty of people will do it after you. That can help you feel less alone, or like it's more achievable. You know, sometimes when we feel like we're walking a path that no one's trodden before, it can make the whole situation seem bigger and scarier, and like we're so much less likely to succeed. But when we remind ourselves there are thousands, if not millions of people, maybe even billions of people who've done this before me, you know, and there will be at least the same number after me as well, if not more. I can do this just like they did. We've got the number 28 from the King Solomon cards. Let me just take a little look in the guidebook for that one. Delays, restraints, binding, locking is what that card is called. Delay in the realization of plans and desires, blockages on the way to reach a goal, total attachment to something or someone that inhibits your progress, someone binds you powerfully to themselves and refuses to let go, everything in front of you is locked and you feel like you can't progress. Okay, so this is also talking about approaching it in like a gentle way, or in a very little and often kind of way, because it's saying like you feel basically like the circumstances are against you, or like the struggle has already been lost before you've even begun, kind of thing. And so you need to wait a while to see how you can best approach the situation and to allow certain circumstances to change before you start attacking it. So I think I would take that as little and often. Don't try and do everything at once, but instead just do what makes sense for you, what you're able to do in that moment. We've got the fish. This is number 34, Gemini, from the Mystisches Lenormand deck. I'm pretty sure the fish is something about achieving some kind of success. Let me have a look. Fish. Yeah, it's about money. Anything to do with finances and business is shown by this card. And it can also talk about business people. And with it landing in the upright position, you know, that's very positive as far as I'm concerned. I feel like, again, it's saying you might need to wait for something to be completed, or for a situation to be fully, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just completed is the word I'm looking for, or sort of laid to rest is what I'm thinking. It's not just completed in the sense of you doing what you need to do, but you feeling like you have closure from that, like everything has been done and you've processed it emotionally and mentally. You don't have to think about it anymore. You can lay it to rest, you know, because even after things are finished, they can still continue to affect us for quite some time. So anything that's to do with your money, your livelihood, your career is positively indicated in this reading, group 1. Then from your tea leaf reading cards, we have Staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. Wealth. Yep. Okay. So there's a lot here where people are asking about finances, or they're asking about education that furthers their career or kickstarts their career, or they're asking about changes in career. We've got cat, a two-faced friend. Dog, barking, advice from a friend. And younger man, dealings or relationship with a younger man. So this is very interesting, actually, because you've got cat, a two-faced friend. You did also get Gemini with this particular card. Gemini does have a reputation for being a little bit two-faced sometimes. In the nicest possible way. My moon is in Gemini. I love Gemini energy. But there could be someone who's kind of telling you either what they think you want to hear, or who's not as supportive as they seem on the surface. So this could be a younger man. It could be someone born in the year of the dog, because we've got obviously the dog symbolism there as well. But it feels like someone's giving you advice that you can really take or leave, or you are really focused on a relationship with someone, whether it's romantic, platonic, familial, and it's getting in the way of what it is that you need to be doing. So it's like you need to be really straight with someone and be like, look, you're either going to help me or you're going to be a hindrance. So decide so that I can make my decision about what I want to do. Or, you know, saying to someone, I really care about you, but I need to take a little bit of a step back from the amount of time that I see you or have contact with you, because I need to focus on this, or I need to get this done. And then once that deadline's passed, we can, you know, increase the amount of time that we spend together. It's something like that I'm feeling there. Universe, we're all just stardust, number 31. That's just like me saying, remember that you are not the only person who's ever going to go through this. You're not the only person who's ever been through this. You know, try and remain in that big picture mindset, because it can really pull you out of the mire where you lose all perspective and you just feel like it's so difficult, it's so hard, I can never achieve this. It pulls you up and it lets you see things much more objectively. Then here, from the Tokens of Light, we have this card, which is number 64, Summation and Closure. So a message again about bringing something to an end, your ability to close off this situation and lay it to rest, not just in the sense, as I said earlier, of doing what needs to be done, but also in the sense of your emotions, of feeling like, okay, yes, that's that finished now. I can stop thinking about it. I can stop stressing about it, etc. The whole process has been brought to a successful completion. And then your Earth Elemental message is, Hab Vertrauen in deine Fähigkeiten. Have confidence in your abilities. Super sweet little card. Okay, so this is a very positive reading, group 1. Obviously there's some complexities there, which we will get into more as we move on to your charms and dice now. But I think the biggest message to take away is, yes, you can do this. And it's important that you have this higher sense of perspective so that you don't feel completely lost and stressed out in the situation. It's also important that you don't go from one extreme to the other and start forcing yourself to get everything done at a million miles an hour, because you are just going to burn out just as quickly if you try and do that. It's best to assign tasks in a very small, easy, manageable way. Even if it's like a big document that you have to get through, just take it one paragraph at a time, or a topic at a time, or even just a sentence at a time, and say to yourself, I'm going to sit for 5 minutes and do this, or I'm going to sit for 20 minutes and do this, and then I'm going to have a little break and then I'll come back. Pomodoro technique, if that works for you, could be helpful. It's not just for studying, it's for working, concentrating, reading, writing documents, etc., anything like that, even tidying, just physical things you could use it for to ensure that you maintain your concentration. So let's get your charms on top now, group 1. I did really get the feeling that a lot of you were asking about career and finance, or education that's to do with your career, but if you're not, there's also messages for you here as well. So we've got the worry thread that symbolizes your anxiety. We've also got Cancer's energy showing up here. So even if that's not any of your main signs to do with this situation, it might be useful to see where Cancer is in your birth chart and how that might be impacting upon this situation, because Cancer is very emotional and very sensitive and can very easily get drawn into feelings of I'm not good enough, or this is too much for me to handle, you know, wanting to run away, or just feeling like you can't cope with it. It's interesting, I think, to see where that is in your birth chart, just to see how that's fitting in with the situation. It's also a reminder to be gentler with yourself and kinder to yourself. Then we've got the star, which is all about healing. It's actually a little starfish, and it's landing on the health and vitality and energy card, which is really nice. You've got the pearl of wisdom, and this is a big thing as well. Even if you're not asking about career or study or finances, there is a big message running throughout the reading of trust your abilities. It's not just here, it's in other places as well. Like, you are intelligent, you are capable, you can draw on support from others, and that might be very helpful for you in an emotional sense. But in terms of getting things done, you can absolutely do it by yourself. Yes, you might get some good advice from people, or you might get some sympathetic noises from people when you vent about how you're struggling or how stressful it is, but you can get through it by yourself because of your own abilities, your intelligence, your independence, your drive, etc. You can do this, which is great. It's really lovely to hear. We've got another star. So again, healing is also about hope and optimism, faith, and kind of being in the right direction, basically, being guided down the right path. And you've got the kettle. Now, I use this charm to mean that something has been bubbling away under the surface, like in your psyche or in your emotional space, for a long time, and now it's suddenly come boiling to the surface and you can't ignore it anymore. You have to face it, you have to deal with it, which just seems completely like what's happening in this situation. So let's move on to your dice. We'll also get you some tokens as well from my new divination tokens. Always plenty of messages coming through in my readings, group 1. Okay, so we're rolling the second set of dice for you. Those are the original dice. These ones. I like how there's a lock and key visible there, and the book for those of you who are studying. There's also the world completion. Okay, that's a 0, so I'm going to roll again. Okay, we're rolling 5 dice for you from this box, group 1. Okay, so we've got the lock. Literally, when you're staring a problem in the face, when you see that there is a blockage or an obstacle that you need to overcome, and it is landing on that card, which interestingly has a star cut out of the ground. The star imagery is really prevalent in your reading, stardust and all of that. The this card is about facing blockages and realizing that there are obstacles in your way and not being terrified by it, but recognizing that it can't stay that way forever. It's going to have to change. We've got the hand, people lending a helping hand, whether that's emotionally helping you through a situation, whether it's physically being of assistance to you, or whether it's just, you know, giving you some advice or giving you the opportunity to vent and take yourself out of the situation, whatever it is. Just be aware of the fact that there is this person who, you know, might be less than supportive in reality. We've got the arrow, which is Sagittarius energy. It's also about determination, having a clear goal and being determined to achieve it. The footprint. Now, this, I always think of like following in someone's footsteps. And so this goes back to what I said earlier about you don't need to follow another person's method to success. If that doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. You should do what feels right for you, your tried and tested methods to achieve what you need. We all learn differently. We all process things differently. We all have different methods and energy levels, okay? There's also that message again of reminding yourself that so many people have done this before you and will continue to do so after you, that you are part of this bigger picture. Then you've got the gorgeous rainbow blessings dice, which is so sweet. Blessings showering into your life. Let's get your tokens to finish up your reading. Just your final messages. Group 1, I have 2 sets of tokens. I'm just going to put my hand in each bag and pull them out. And the other bag. Wow, okay. So, group 1, you've got time. Again, okay, so time, you know, obviously deadlines and things like that, needing to have patience. You've also got the backpack, which looks so similar to that Idol of Hard Work card. That's incredible. That's really incredible, group 1. When I see that, I think of having a lot of stuff to carry, like a lot of burdens to bear, or just even feeling like there's a lot going on for you right now. See what else the guidebook says. Yeah, overwhelm, moving on, burdens carried alone. You can get through this alone. Group 1, I think it's really important to keep reminding yourself of that. Having patience as well. And then from your other tokens, you've got number 4, the 4-leaf clover, good luck. Number 8, the 8-ball, vulnerable position, intuition, mystical wisdom. Following your intuition, following what you're being told in that sense. And then you've got the teapot, which obviously is very similar to the kettle. Very similar imagery coming through. Friendship, confiding with a loved one, comfort and joy. So people can help you and support you, but you are capable of getting through the whole situation by yourself, basically. And I love that you've got so many repeated symbols across different mediums. That's what I love about doing this kind of cross-medium reading. That's why I always do it on the channel, because I really enjoy it, and I think it's just really gives you more confidence in the message that you receive as well. So group 1, that's what I'm seeing in your reading. I do not think it's too late for you, although I think it's time now to start putting some things into action, but it's best to work out a plan beforehand rather than rushing into it, because I think you will regret doing that. I think you will regret just going flat out, and it's better to just tackle it a little bit at a time. Thank you so much for trusting me to do this reading for you and spending your time here on my channel today. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of the reading, because I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how it resonated. Please like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed this video, because that really helps me out and it means that we can get these messages to as many people as possible. If you're interested in the work that I do here and you would like to get more involved, then check out my description box or the comment that I post below. They are always full of links. So I have 2 wish lists linked below for new tarot and oracle decks. I also have my PayPal link for tips and donations, so if you would like to send anything to the channel in the sphere of support, then that's the way to do it. I've also got my Patreon page as well for people who want to support me on a more regular basis, and I run an astrology course over there. There's all kinds of giveaways and goodies and exclusive content over there. that you can get your hands on. I have my Etsy page linked below for private readings and healing sessions and other services too. And I have my Instagram page for daily oracle cards and readings. And we do still have a discount available with Modern Day Manifestations to get 10% off your first order of crystal jewelry, which is handmade and infused with intentions to help you bring the right energies into your life. So if you follow the link below, that will take you to Modern Day Manifestations. Use that link because that will validate the discount code, and then you can apply that discount code Violet at checkout once you've chosen your lovely jewelry, and you'll get your 10% off and your international shipping for free. So thank you so much again, Group 1, for being here. Have a lovely rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hey there, Group 2. Welcome to your reading if you chose Snake and also the Angel Tarot. This is going to be your reading. So obviously Snake can have like a special significance for those of you born in the Chinese year of the snake, or who are asking about someone who is. Also, Snake to me kind of points towards betrayal. So there might be a situation here where you feel betrayed or let down by another person, where you feel disappointed. Snake is also symbolic of healing as well. Also of shedding one's skin, kind of growing into a new chapter of our life. So some of that might resonate with whatever it is that you're asking about today. Let's take a look at your tarot cards. Please do subscribe, Group 2, if you haven't already. That really helps me out. It's a lovely way to show your support for the work that I do, and it also means that you never miss an upload when I post a new reading. So, Group 2, let's look at your tarot cards. Okay, so the Four of Fire jumped out very, very early on before anything else. Four of Fire is also Four of Wands, contentment, peace and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. Then we've got the Page of Fire, so fire or wands seems strongly connected to this. Outgoing, creative, confident, mischievous, news of an exciting new endeavour, use your originality and ingenuity. And then here we've got Justice, Archangel Raguel. Fair and just decisions, do what you know is right, stand up for your beliefs. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius and also Libra are showing up in this reading. I feel like for a lot of you, you're asking about a situation to do with another person or a group of people, because I'm getting like a very personal feeling from this reading, which I didn't really get with Group 1's reading. Okay, there's a lot here, especially with Justice and the Snake, about like being treated fairly by other people. The Four of Wands is a harmony card. It's often to do with a harmonious home, a feeling like you've arrived, of milestones. The Page of Fire or Page of Wands can also represent a new friend. But it's also to do with potentially with business and sort of material security. So I never like to give a straight answer just from the cards, but the cards are very encouraging today. The tarot kind of gives me an introduction, a sort of portal or gateway into the reading, and then the oracle cards, charms, dice, everything that we use in my readings give us much more context, much more specific messages. But those are very encouraging tarot cards to open up with. Okay, then we have verbesserte Gesundheit, improved health, and also Vertrauen, trust. Can also be faith or confidence, depending on how you want to translate it. So improved health, obviously we can take that in a very literal sense of health improving. That might be something that you're asking about. Is it too late for my health issues to be resolved? But I think we can also take it in more of an abstract sense, like emotional health, mental health, etc. Also healthier relationships, for example, or a healthier bank balance, like something just being improved more generally, having faith that that will come to pass. Okay. Then we have got Der Götze der Beziehungen, yeah, number 45, the idol of relationships. There is something big here for a lot of you about relationships, whether that is a romantic relationship, whether it's friends, colleagues, family, etc. We've also got der Götze der Aufopferung, number 41, the idol of, I guess you could say victimhood or sacrifice or even martyrdom in a way. And then, number 52, der Götze der Kreuzigung, the idol of crucifixion. So martyrdom is coming up here. Really, really interesting. So I think for a lot of you, this is about healthier relationships, regardless of what the nature of that relationship is, as I've already said. It feels like in the past you've done a lot for people because you had the idol of relationships. So when we talk about the idols in these cards, they are things that are internal to us. So they're not external situations. They are internal belief systems that might have been caused by experiences, relationships, society in general, past lives, whatever. The whole point is that we're experiencing it and it's limiting or restricting us in some way. So the idol of relationships is when we idolize a relationship or the concept of a relationship. So romantically, this is when you sort of stay in a bad relationship because you just want to be in a relationship and it doesn't matter who it's with, and you might be desperately unhappy, but at least you're in a relationship, for example. It could be that you're married and you think divorce is shameful. That all feeds into the idol of relationships. It could be that you do so much for a friend and you know deep down that they're using you, or that they're not a nice person, or that they might not even necessarily like you very much, but because you're so desperate to have a friend, or you so want to be wanted back by that person or respected by that person, or to earn their friendship or respect, you keep doing it. You keep having this victimhood, this martyrdom, whatever you want to call it, from these two cards. You know, when you keep doing something that's hurtful for yourself, but you're doing it to prove yourself to another, or you're doing it to gain another person's respect or affection or love. You couldn't see it very well earlier in the video, but this person is holding up their heart on a plate, hoping that it will be well received. And we can expect that it probably won't be from that picture. So there's a big thing about relationships. Then we've got number 23, confidence. It comes with time and practice. Now, this is the second time you've got the word confidence. Oh, actually, the Page of Wands also says confident as one of its describing words there. Homeward, number 42, take yourself out on a date. So, you know, if this is romantic, it's time to spend some time by yourself. That doesn't mean that you're never going to be in a relationship, because I think actually the opposite is true. You are going to have healthy relationships in the future, but only once you've addressed these idols, understanding where they come from, why they've worked themselves into your psyche like this, essentially why you feel that way, or why you think in those kinds of terms or those kinds of thought patterns. This is not a negative reflection on you. This is not an opportunity for you to beat yourself up and hate yourself or be angry at yourself for doing certain things. This is an opportunity for you to reflect and understand why certain things have happened, so that you can be empowered enough to have that insight and to have that knowledge, because the knowledge is power. And once you know why something happens, it's a lot easier to change it, because firstly, you recognize it, you can name it, you can acknowledge it. And secondly, you know what's fueling it, so you know how to counteract that, if that makes sense. Power struggle. Okay, the two people who are both pulling at this rope, and you can see it's sort of tied together in a bow, and then there's the scissors on the floor. Like, they've got the opportunity to just cut it and walk away, but for some reason they're both fighting over it because they both want to be right, or they both want to have the outcome that they want. Then we've got the old king here, who's got this long beard, which then feeds into a waterfall with a little fish springing out of it. To me, this also talks about reflection. So obviously reflection in the literal sense, like the reflection of the water. But we've got the symbolic age and maturity, haven't we, of his beard that tells us he's lived a long time. He's gotten to a point where he's reflecting on his life. This is the image of that reflection. And he's at this point where he's kind of made it. You know, he's on his throne. He doesn't need to prove himself to anyone, but he's reflecting on the past, on what went wrong, on what went right. And the fish jumping out of the water for me is a very abundant symbol. So it's like changing the course of your future by reflecting on this. Archangel Raphael, number 8, so there's definitely a lot of healing to be done for you, group 2. And then we're seeing it again with the 4 of Scrolls, the karmic trench. This card is all about when you get yourself entrenched into certain ways of thinking or behaving or feeling, and the longer you're in it, the harder it feels to get yourself out of it, because it becomes more familiar to you. It becomes more like, this is all I've known, or this is what I'm used to. So it's all to do with changing thought processes, group 2. And I feel like there's a lot here where you're sort of thinking like, oh, this happened and I desperately didn't want it to, or this terrible thing happened and then it happened again with a different person, or it happened again 10 years later, and I just don't understand why that kept happening. And it's essentially because there's this pattern programmed within you to keep doing that until you've reflected upon it, until you've cut that cord symbolically. But again, this isn't a chance for you to feel bad about yourself, because it's nothing that you have consciously done, or nothing that you've done deliberately to create this. It's just as a result of whatever you've learned growing up, whatever you've brought forward from past lives. Definitely think that a lot of you are asking about finding friends, finding a romantic partner, getting married, having a better work environment with the people around you. It's something along those lines. Healing from family abuse, or getting along better with family members, having your own family. Like, all of these things seem to be feeding into this reading. But it's like you need to process some things that have happened in the past so that you're not feeling still influenced by them, if that makes sense. It's like, I want, for example, a friendship group who I feel completely supported by and who I can get along well with, but I'm still carrying the pain of the wounds caused by that friendship group in the past who betrayed me, or who let me down, or who weren't there for me when I needed them, or who all just gradually filtered out of my life like this river flowing away from me, you know? That's what I'm feeling. It's like you need to lay that to rest before you can move forward with this situation. So start by taking care of yourself, doing lovely things for yourself, reflecting, having faith and trust and confidence in yourself and in the universe that this will work out. Dark thoughts in the reverse, the 3 of consciousness, so the need to free yourself from this mind maze, to fall out of it, so to speak, like tipping it upside down and falling out of it. That's also very similar to the karmic trench. The Earth Elementals say, Es ist noch kein Meister vom Himmel gefallen, versuche es noch einmal. I really like this card. It says, there's never yet been a master who's just fallen from heaven. Try it again, or try it one more time. So we get that card when we feel like we're failing at something, or at life in general, and it's like, no matter what we do, it doesn't seem to work. And so the Earth Elementals are saying, look, no one's ever got it right first time, or there's never been anyone who's ever done anything great and wonderful or gotten to be an incredible person without some level of suffering or challenge or hardship. So give it another go. Wait until you feel ready and then give it another try. Time, courage. Yeah, so it's all to do with mindset, as we've said. I think there's a big part of you that's feeling vulnerable, that's feeling like, I don't want to put myself in that situation just to be rejected again, or just to go through the same old experiences of pain and suffering and heartache. But you can afford to be more confident in yourself, group 2. You can afford to have more faith in yourself as a person and in your own abilities. Key lime pie. Good omens, luck and blessings. That's such a cute card to get. Very encouraging. Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you, so don't be afraid to share yourself with the world, essentially, to share who you are with others. This is a big thing. Like, I just feel fear of rejection coming from you because of what you've been through in the past, or fear of being betrayed once you've, given your trust to someone else. Fear of people just not really getting you and shunning you or making you feel small when you get to a place where you finally feel like you're happy with who you are. The Fairy Norn, number 31, planning, patience, cooperation. I really love the image on that card. It's so peaceful, so gentle. The colours as well. So from this deck, we've got Throne, position of authority. Wow. And you've just had that throne imagery of where you feel like you're at your right point, or you get to your right place. Leg, stepping into a new experience. Table, hard work ahead. Grapes, time to go out and have fun. Wow. That's really encouraging, group 2. I think this has been such a lovely reading so far. Like, we've gotten a lot of obviously hard-hitting messages, or messages that might be difficult to face up to and really stare in the face and acknowledge, but also so much love and kindness and encouragement and bolstering of you, group 2. We've got the Lilies, number 30, energy of the moon. Let me just get your last cards all together, because I'll be looking in guidebooks for all of them, and then we can move on to your charms and dice. Okay, 23 from the King Solomon cards. And number 16 from the Tokens of Light, which says connection, support, and continuity. Okay. So, let's start with the Lilies, number 30. From the Mystical Lenormand, the Lilies talk about family, family life, harmony, sexuality, and support from others. So that is like just so hitting the nail on the head with what we've been talking about. Pretty much everyone, I think, for this reading is asking about relationships. And for those of you that aren't, I think there's a lot that you're asking about to do with breaking a cycle, breaking a habit or a pattern. From the King Solomon cards, number 23, that one is security, protection, and support. You are benefited by security and protection and cannot fail. Being protected, you can safely go for the fulfillment of your wishes. Any way you choose to operate will be successful thanks to the divine providence that is around you. Emotional or financial support. Feel confident with every step you are about to take, but take precautions in advance. Involve trusted people in your decisions, approach, or action. Find someone that will be your source of support. Allow yourself to act without fear. And finally, number 16 from the Tokens of Light card. That's the Hebrew letter Vav, the 6th letter. It's connected to Taurus. Connection, support, and continuity. So again, it's talking about harmonious relationships with family members, friends, faithful relationships, supportive family life, sympathy from others, concession and considerations. So yeah, I do feel like whatever you're asking about with regards to relationships, it's not too late. Group 2, you have the opportunity to bring this about or to change what it is that you want to change. And I don't think you need to rush with this, actually. With group 1, there was much more of the element of time and urgency. Obviously, they picked the time card for their pile marker. For you, you're actually being told to have patience, to move gently forward with this, to not sort of make yourself feel bad for not having this right now, or for not having everything sorted out right now, because it's going to come in for you. But there are some things that you need to settle down for yourself and to process for yourself so that you're not feeling still influenced by it in the future. Let's do your charms. Okay, so straight away I can see 2 worry threads. We've got one there and one there. So worry and anxiety is being highlighted by that. We have Sagittarius charm there, the arrow. It's also about determination, seeing your goal and moving towards it. We have stability and security with the anchor. It also makes me think of being stuck in that trench, that karmic trench, because that feels safe to keep repeating what you've been doing for a long time, or to keep thinking and feeling in the same way. It's better the devil you know, but ultimately it's best for you to make a change. We've got the have faith charm, so that is a real message for you throughout this reading. You've also got the sheath, keeping something hidden, keeping something to yourself. Maybe it's time to open up about it. Maybe it's time to just let it go, like you've been carrying it around with you for so long. We have the Page of Pentacles, this little ballerina, which is another symbol telling you that it's important to just take it one step at a time. This isn't something you can rush. It's not something that will feel perfect straight away, or that you will sort of get to the point where you're happy with it straight away. It's something that's going to take time. You also have a fire elemental, the salamander. So the fire energy is really strong in this particular reading. Group 2, it's come through obviously in the cards, but now through the charms as well. Then you have the crow. This is a symbol of omens, knowing something's going to happen before it does. It's also the calling card of the goddess Marigan, the Celtic goddess of battles and death and warfare. She often comes to us at times when we're kind of going through a very turbulent time in life, or where we feel like we're fighting a lot, like we're defending ourselves, like we're literally going through a battle, a conflict of kinds, whether it's with ourselves or other people or the world in general. She comes through for us when we need her. And then you have the ice skate. Okay, this little boot here. I always think of the phrase skating on thin ice when we get that charm, where you feel like if something's going okay, then it means that it's just a matter of time until something goes wrong. So I think, again, that's to do with having faith, trusting. Things will get better. Group 2, you won't always be around people who betray you, or who don't see your worth, or who don't value you as you are and you as a person. And if you are around those people, then you know that it's best to take a step back. Okay, we're going to roll the 10th set of dice for you. Those are the Scooby-Doo dice. I'm really excited to use these because I haven't used them much since I got them a month or so ago. They haven't come out in the pre-roll very much. And we're rolling all 9 of them for you. Wow. So, group 2. Okay, what have we got? We have got the net, catching something, that sort of gotcha moment where everything finally comes together. We've also got the treasure chest, finding something that has real meaning and value to you, whether it's money or obviously something entirely different, something that feels very meaningful to you. What's this over here? We've got the person who is sliding downwards, feeling like things are out of control, feeling like things have taken a turn that you didn't want them to take. We've also got the cage as well, feeling trapped, feeling stuck, feeling like a situation just isn't changing for you. The mystery machine then talks about change, talks about movement and progress. I also obviously think of the whole gang in Scooby-Doo when I see the mystery machine. So there really is a message here, group 2, about you finding your people or feeling supported. We have the torch lighting the way, showing you where you need to go. What's this here? The rope as well. And it's been broken, or it's been ripped or severed at both ends. So this need to let go of something, this need to sort of cut the cord, so to speak, so it's not hanging over you anymore or making you feel like, you know, this is still affecting me in a way that I don't want it to. We've got the ancient statue. The ancient statue is symbolic of your kind of power. I always think like a totem, or like a symbol of your power, a symbol of your authority. But I also think of like the past when I see that, something that seems to have really imprinted on you very strongly. So obviously that's your past experiences, but it could also be the experiences of your ancestors as well. We think of heritage when we think of those kinds of statues. And finally, Charlie the Funland robot. This is a robot who was meant to be a helper, and then due to someone programming him maliciously, he started acting as a villain, and then he was reprogrammed again and, you know, went back to being good. But it's like when someone does something very unexpected, behaves in a way that is very out of character, you thought, or, you know, just really frightening and unexpected for you. So this again turns back to the betrayal message, or the message of someone turning on you or being nasty to you when you'd given them your trust, you'd given them your faith, relationship-wise. So let's finish up now with some tokens, group 3. Group 2, even. I've got these 2 bags of lovely divination tokens. So I'll just put my hand in each bag, get you some final messages. And in this bag too, group 2. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got the locket, and we've also got the sunbeam from this set. So the locket, I think of remembering people. I think of people that you've lost, your memories, the people that you sort of held close, who you've been separated from, past lives, nostalgia, all of those kinds of things. With the sunbeam, I think of like a ray of hope, or a ray of happiness in your life. The guidebook also says that it's about divine protection and angelic intervention and elemental intervention, which you've clearly got in the shape of the fire elementals. Here you've got a lantern, number 1, which makes me think of the hermit card, obviously, that inner journey and that kind of solitude and using your intuition as a guide. But it just also makes me think of like candles, which to me is hope and faith. And obviously you've got the torch here as well, so it's very similar imagery. Being guided down the right path, being safe even when you don't always feel that way. You have the frog prince, number 19, not being fooled by appearances. Diamond in the rough, again, this points back to finding people who really respect you or really like you for who you are, and not want you to change yourself to fit in with them. We've got the skull and crossbones, number 74. I always think of toxic people or toxic situations when I see the skull and crossbones, but this also says in the guidebook, endings, letting go of attachments, and also things that fail. And then finally you have the whale, compassion, solitude, creative release, number 109. Personally, the whale always makes me think of teaching, wisdom, reflection, all of those things. I think it does actually fit with this image of the old king on his throne reflecting. So that could also be something that you understand by that as well. And obviously they sort of tend to move in communities. So that's also a message of having your people around you. So group 2, that is what I'm seeing in your reading. I feel as though you are going to find these people or improve these relationships in time. What first needs to be done is for you to process past experiences, heal the wounds that those have caused, and have more faith in yourself, have more confidence in the beautiful person that you are. You don't need to achieve this right now. You might feel like, I really want the support of others around me. That's completely understandable, but you don't actually need it in your life right now, even if you feel like you do. But it's not too late for this, and I really feel like, as we've gotten messages about good luck and not being able to fail, which, how incredible is that message? It's definitely going to happen for you. So have faith in that, and I hope that that gives you some peace as well with regards to this situation, at least in the short term. So group 2, thank you so much for trusting me to do this reading for you. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of it. I would love to hear how it resonated with you. Please like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the reading, because that really helps me out. And it means that we can get these messages to as many people as possible. It's a lovely way to show that you're supporting my work. If you're interested in the work that I do and you'd like to get more involved, then check out my description box and the comment that I post below. In the comments section, they are always full of links. So I have 2 wish lists linked down there for new decks. I also have my PayPal link for tips and donations. So if you would like to support the channel in that way, then those are the links to do that. If you'd like to support me on a more regular basis, I also have my Patreon page linked below. I'm running an astrology course over there. You can get access to all kinds of goodies and rewards and exclusive content, so do check that out if you're a fan of my work. I have my Etsy page for private readings and healing sessions and other products and services. I also have my Instagram page where I post daily oracle cards and daily readings sometimes as well. And we do still have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. So if you would like to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewelry, which is infused with intentions to help you bring the right energies into your life, then use the link below. That will validate the discount code, and then once you have chosen your lovely jewelry, you can use the discount code Violet at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your first order and free worldwide shipping. So thank you so much to them for continuing to offer us that discount. Thank you again to you, Group 2, for being here and sharing in this reading with me. Have a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hey there, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose Sun and the Tarot Dobra, the good tarot in Czech, then this is going to be your reading. We're going to be seeing whether it's too late for you to achieve whatever it is that you're asking about, whatever situation you've got. Both group 1 and 2 were very, very different readings, so I'm curious to see what this one's going to be like. Obviously, when we look at the sun, we do think of positivity. We do think of something that's eternal. We think of happiness and confidence, especially when we think about the sun in tarot. We think of vitality, warmth, growth, health. Also about our sun sign, the sun as it's represented in our birth chart. So all of that could be relevant to what you're asking about, Group 3. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already as well, because that really helps out my channel. It's a lovely way to show your support for the work that I do, and it also means that you never miss an upload. So let's get your tarot cards, Group 3. So we have got Vus, which is the Chariot. Čtyřka vody, the 4 of Cups, 4 of Water in this deck. Then we have Císař, the Emperor, another 4. And Desítka země, the 10 of Earth or 10 of Pentacles. So you have Cancer and Aries showing up in your reading so far. So there is some of that fiery energy coming out here. It's an interesting reading actually, because I feel like you've got the drive to do this, and you are sort of interested in it, and you very much got the ability, I feel, to pull it off, whatever it is. But there is like an issue there with like you waiting. Were you feeling like now's not the right time, or I'm not in the right space personally right now, or I just don't have the right levels of energy and emotion to achieve this right now? But all other indicators say that you do. So I'm really curious to see what your oracle cards are going to say. I never want to give a definitive answer just from your tarot, because tarot acts as the gateway into the reading for me, like a kind of portal. if you like, and then the oracle cards, charms, dice, everything that we use in my readings gives us a much more specific, contextualized answer. But it's definitely a good and interesting opening, group 3. Warten. This is really interesting. So you've got wait. Wait. That's curious, actually, that you're being told to wait when you're literally asking, have I left it too long? Okay, then we've got number 14, Thorns, weave together the crown you deserve. And Voyage, number 34, you already have all the answers. Okay, so it's like deep down, you already know the answer to this, group 3. You already know that you can do it. Thorns usually comes up when we have been treated badly and we're kind of working on our shadow. We're dealing with our shadow self. We're also helping lift other people up. They're supporting us, etc. It's like a group healing, basically, when we get that card. It's also acknowledging our blockages and obstacles. It's understanding why we want to do certain things. But it's like you already have an understanding of this. So you've already done a lot of reflection, or you already know why you want to do a certain thing, if that makes sense. But there's still a need to wait. Okay, then we have got number 56, der Götze der Unabhängigkeit, the idol of independence. We have number 54, der Götze der Schwäche, the idol of weakness. And number 22, Gaben, gifts. Can be physical gifts, or it can be Gaben as in like talents, gifts that you have. So there's 2 idols here. Idols point towards issues within our psyche, internal things that are affecting us. They're also often caused by things outside of ourselves, but they're not an external problem, if that makes sense. So they might have been caused by another person or a situation or experience, but they're not an external problem in and of themselves. There's something that we have kind of internalized and that we have now almost as part of ourselves. So when we have the idol of independence, independence is a wonderful thing, but the idol of independence is like independence in a negative sense. Stubborn independence, where you don't want anyone else's help, or you don't want anyone else's opinion on a situation. You want to do it all alone. And the idol of weakness is when you feel like you just don't have the strength to pull something off, when you're clearly being told earlier in your reading that you do. So that's the Four of Cups. I mean, this is really a good illustration of what the Four of Cups is like when you feel depleted energy wise, or when you're interested in something but you just feel like you don't have it in you to achieve it. An example would be, you know, you might be really interested by a particular type of job, but when you think about it, it just sounds exhausting. So you think like, oh, I would love to do it, but I just can't. And that's your blockage that you're putting in the way, because you don't really know if you can't do it until you've tried. And I feel like the cards are saying you really can do it. You have the gifts, you have the talent to bring this about. You have exactly what is needed in this situation to bring it about. Spring, autumn, the Four of Forces. Now, interestingly, I think it was group 1, maybe got this card, but they got it in the reverse position, which means it's talking about autumn. But for you, it's upright, which means it's talking about spring. So whereas they were focused on the harvest, you're focused on the first blooming or the planting of the seeds. We've also got the treasure, the Two of Keys, when you feel like you have lost something. This is a treasure chest that's been spilled open. So that's again pointing towards this feeling of I don't have enough, or I'm not good enough, or I've lost my time, I've wasted my time, or I've lost the chance to do this, I've missed the boat, you know, the boat imagery, whatever you want to call it. But actually with the spring, you're still in the early days of this situation. This is the least concrete of all the situations I've seen in the reading so far, because group 1's is very, very clear what it was about. Group 2's was equally very clear what it was about, although they were very different. This one, it's like it could be any kind of situation. And, you know, there's indicators about career, there's indicators about personal goals, there's indicators about relationships, there's indicators about spirituality, but it could be about anything, genuinely. And it's like it's still a concept in your mind, if that makes sense. So it's like you haven't taken many steps towards it. You're still in the spring of this situation, but you've got what it takes to complete it. You just need that masculine drive that we're seeing with the divine masculine Caesar, sorry, the Emperor, that need to push forward. Conflict, the Four of Events. There's that boat imagery again. Maybe it's the conflict between you feeling like you can, like, you can't do it, but you're interested in it, or you'd like it, but you don't know how to bring it about. It's that kind of conflict, I feel. But I'm also picking up on something from the Idol of Independence about you wanting to keep this secret, or wanting to just do this by yourself and not tell anyone about it. So again, I don't know what it is, but it's like, I don't want other people's opinions. I don't want other people, like, prying or having certain thoughts about me if I do this. I don't know why that would be the case, or, you know, whether this applies to everyone watching this or just a few of you, but there is an element of, I don't want to talk about this. Like, I just want to do it and enjoy it and not have anyone know. Green tea, work ethic, diligence, meticulousness. So it could be about career for a lot of you, or achieving a particular goal. Yeah, the base card here, Blue Moon, dream, imagine, create. This feeling of it being still in the concept phase, like you've not taken much in the way of action towards it. Maybe that's why you need to wait longer, because it's still formulating in your mind. Time, courage. Group 2 got that card. Needing to have the right mindset. Knowing that you have what it takes to achieve, and therefore having the faith and the confidence in yourself to go ahead and get it done. Wow, the wish card, the genie coming out of the book. This again suggests to me that it's still in the concept phase, because we've got a girl who's dreaming. So obviously that's symbolic of the imagination as opposed to the physical world. But also the genie is coming out of a book. So he's like bridged one world and entered another. He's bridged the world of the imagination and conceptualization, and he's entered the physical world. So it's like that is still happening in this situation. That transition is still ongoing, or it's not yet happened for you. It's still an idea, or it's still a concept. Or it's a seed that's just been planted but hasn't yet started to bloom. Canonos, life force. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. Yeah, that fits with the spring. The sort of life force, vitality energy. Some of you, it could be about a relationship, and like you just want to do it secretly, almost. Like, again, I'm not really sure what this is, but I'm almost feeling like there's someone you like, but you don't want anyone to know that you like them. Or there's someone you like, but it might be complicated to have a relationship with them because people around you know this person or know of this person or have history with them. And so you don't want people's opinions affecting that situation. You just want to have the enjoyment of the relationship, whether it's romance or whether it's purely like a sexual relationship or even a friendship or whatever. But you don't want it being made public. You don't want people seeing you around with this person, or you don't want to say to your friends and family, oh, so I'm in a relationship with this person, because it would be such a big deal, if that makes sense. Like, that's the feeling I'm getting, whether it's about a relationship or not. There's just something about you wanting to keep it secret or on the down low, or just keep it to yourself, keep it private. The life bringer, number 35, establishment, growth, fulfillment. So there's that Canonos energy, that springtime energy showing up again. this ability to bring something to life, to bring it from, like we've been saying, that conceptualized stage into reality. We've got the book, number 26, Pisces. The book is also about something being hidden. This is really interesting, group 3, because I don't know what this is. And I have a feeling it's going to be different for pretty much everyone who is watching this reading. But there is an element for a lot of you about wanting to keep this situation, relationship, goal, whatever, secret. Like getting a qualification but never telling anyone about it. Doing it just for the satisfaction for yourself, or being in a relationship but keeping it a secret from other people. There's something there about secrets. The book also can be about education and training, obviously, but there is a strong element of secrecy to it. Then we've got finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. To me, it's also like pointing fingers, like literally, it's like you don't want people looking at this situation. Clouds, temporary problems. Bird flying, news is on the way. Pin, new job / career. Key, successful outcome to your problems. So in the near future, there is some kind of issue that causes a blockage or delay, or maybe puts you off pursuing the situation. It just feels like it's not the right time. The circumstances are wrong. That's where waiting is coming in. And then you get some news that's helpful, or you get some communication that is useful, or you open the communication and it's really positive, and that means that you end up having this new beginning and this successful outcome. Okay, then we've got number 5 from the King Solomon cards. It actually landed in the reverse position though. I just want to get your last cards out so that I can look in the guidebooks afterwards, and then we'll move on to your charms and dice. The earth elementals say, ohne Neugier erfährst du nichts. Without curiosity, you experience nothing. And I think that's exactly what's going on. You are so curious about something, you have this idea, you want to do it, but you're so scared of what it means for you, the people around you, you know, what will happen if you give it a go. But you definitely seem to have all of the necessary components or abilities to bring this to life. Group 3. So you've got number 22 from the Tokens of Light, which says soundness and strong standing. It looks like that in the reverse. Well, just the picture on the back of the token. And then number 13, which says freedom of action and maneuver. And that's the picture on the back. So let's look at your King Solomon card and your Token of Light cards in the guidebook. So the King Solomon is number 5 and it's in the reverse position. So in the reverse, it says, each person minds their own business, focus on yourself and do not contribute to others, do not receive anything from others, do not commit or take on commitments. So that again is where I feel like the waiting needs to happen. Like you need to just focus on what your plan is, or you need to focus on something else first in order to bring this about. Then number 13, you've got the letter He, which is symbolic of the sign of Aries. It's the 5th letter. And in number 13, it's talking about charisma, leadership, originality, and imagination. It's similar to the Emperor figure in the tarot. Wow. And you got the Emperor. Basically being able to handle the circumstances with your control and your power. That's all in your hands. Needing to stick to something and not be distracted. So it's like you have this time of biding your time and then going at it with all your energy. And then number 22 is the Hebrew letter Chet, which is the sign of Cancer, which is connected to the Chariot in tarot, which obviously you've also received in your reading. So number 22 says stress and difficult challenges on the journey to personal fulfillment. You find the strength to continue and stand up to the commitments despite the pressures. Okay, and there's also something here where it says about being embarrassed or feeling like a situation is unpleasant. So again, it's like you don't want people to know because something about it embarrasses you or something about it feels very private to you. So I'm really intrigued by that, group 3. Obviously, you're probably not going to want to share in the comments, and that's completely your right to do so. But it's really intriguing to me how there's something there that you just really don't want to have people's eyes on you and like have people scrutinizing you with this situation. So let's get your charms on top, and then we'll do your dice. We're also going to use some lovely divination tokens in today's reading. Okay, so we have got growth, which has just been a repeated word and symbol throughout your reading. Growth, life, vitality, springtime. We've got the psychic vampire, someone or something that is draining your energy. This could be someone that you don't want to know about this situation. Being guided by a higher power. This is something that you're being guided towards for whatever reason. Group 3, you also have goddess Freya showing up, the Norse goddess of love, among other things. You have freedom in the heart space. So it's like you need to let yourself be unburdened of something before you can move forward with this. You have a lovely big key, which is always nice to see in a reading. Solving problems. Obviously, you've got the key here as well, which says successful outcome to your problems. New beginnings as well, indicated by the key. And then you have Mars. So Mars is your drive. Mars is strongly connected to Aries, which we keep seeing throughout your reading. Mars is the divine masculine force. Mars is your passion, your energy levels, your physical stamina, among other things. So knowing where Mars is placed in your birth chart and what aspects are formed with him is really helpful. But you could also check out your Mars transits to see how you're being affected in that area of your life right now. Could give you a clue as to when to take action, because he's all about taking action. So if he's currently mired in something where it's bogging him down, like for example if he's in Cancer right now, then you know he's going to need to move forward at a different time. So let's get your dice on top now, group 3. We are rolling the first set of dice, the fantasy dice. That's 0, so I'm going to roll again. And we're rolling 3 of them for you. So 3 dice for group 3. Okay, so you've got the Queen of Swords. Again, this feeling of wanting to complete something else beforehand, or wanting to protect yourself, defend yourself from others. There's a real fear about other people's opinions or other people's, like I'm literally hearing like you don't want other people's eyes on you. You don't want to feel like people are watching you or like having expectations or having opinions on this situation. We've got the little gnome, which is like the hermit card in the tarot for me, going within, understanding what's going on in your psyche, spending some time by yourself, releasing some internal blockages. And then the Fool. New beginnings, new adventures, having what it takes to succeed and being less worried about the overall situation. Let's see what your tokens have to say finally. I've got 2 bags of these. Just put my hand in each bag and pulse them out. Group 3. And the second set. Wow. Okay, so you've got sprout, which again, there's just this symbol of the growth and the springtime and the vitality that comes through from that. I obviously think of new beginnings when I see that, and I think of like planting seeds and new things coming towards you. And then you also have acrobat, sort of lots of things to deal with or lots of things to juggle all at once is what I'm thinking. Like you want to get something else out of the way because you feel like you don't have space for this, or you feel like you're overworked. Then we have got the alarm clock, number 7, waking up to something, a revelation, suddenly understanding something that you didn't understand before. Then we have number 26, the sun. Obviously you picked the sun card on your pile marker as well. This is good fortune, this is enlightenment, material happiness and success. Then we've got the bells. Actually, wedding bells, wedding or marriage, number 56. To me, that's also about commitment more generally, or something to celebrate. Good news. And number 113, 113, we've got card suits, playing something out strategically, having all of the tools in your toolbox. So again, like having the resources, like being the person that's best able to bring this about. Does that make sense, group 3? It's like there's something you want and maybe other people want it too, or you want something and you feel like maybe other people want it as well, but you are the best placed person to bring this about. You've got something that other people don't have that enables you to have success in this area. So group 3, I think you should be a lot more confident about this, but for whatever reason, you need to wait a bit longer before this comes about and before this can really be brought into the physical world, because it's still a concept for you. So that's what I'm seeing in your reading, group 3. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for trusting me to do this reading for you. Thank you for being here. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of the reading and how it resonated with you. I would love to hear from you. Obviously, you don't need to open up about why it's a secret or what the whole secret aspect is, but I'm interested in it anyway. Just really interesting to do that kind of reading. Please like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video, because that really helps out my channel, and it's a great way to show me some support and also to ensure that we get these messages to as many people as possible. If you are interested in the work that I do here and you'd like to get more involved, check out my description box or the comment that I post in the comments section below. They are always full of links, so you can follow me on Instagram, for example, to get daily oracle cards or daily readings in your feed. I have my wish lists linked below and my PayPal link. So if you'd like to send a new deck to the channel, or if you'd like to donate or leave a small tip, that would be so much appreciated. So kind of you. Thank you for your support. If you'd like to support me on a more regular basis, then I have my Patreon page linked below, where I currently run an astrology course, and you can get access to all kinds of exclusive content, giveaways, goodies, rewards, all kinds of stuff over there. I also have my Etsy page for private readings and healing sessions and other products and services too. And we currently have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. So if you'd like to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewelry infused with intentions to help you bring the right energies into your life, then just use the discount code VIOLET. And make sure you click on the link below, because that will validate the discount code. So obviously apply it once you're at checkout and you'll get your 10% off and free worldwide shipping. But the discount code won't work without that link, so click the link below. And yeah, thank you so much to them for continuing to offer us that great offer, and thank you to you for being here, group 3. Thank you for sticking around till the end. Have a lovely rest of your day, take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.